One, two.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hello.
That's all we got.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Do you have
This,
any early priest stuff you wanted to talk about this time, similar to hoopties or anything?
dude, I don't know, bro. I didn't have enough time to get mentally prepared this time, so.
What do you need, man? Psych yourself up. We're here with the people. You normally do it by yourself. Now you could do it with the people. How do you feel? What's up?
I don't know, bro. It's been a long day, man. Tell me what's going on in your life. Cheer me up a little bit.
Oh man, there's nothing like that. Dude, just dumb stuff. I will tell you this dentist story. So,
All right.
been trying to get this dentist appointment going. So I call in, and they were like, I was like, oh, for like Richard Perry. Like this is the dentist I go to already. They're like, oh, we can't find it for Perry. Perry, right? Pery. I was like, yeah. So then they looked this stuff up. I'm gonna try to get better at cursing for all of you. So hold me accountable, please. But yeah, they like look it up. Can't find it, so I'm not gonna put all of my government stuff out there. But I was like, "Well, try my first name." Spelled it out for them. They couldn't figure it out. And so, bro, she like asked me my date of birth. She asked me all this stuff. I was like, I don't like. All right, spell my first name again. She comes back and was like, "Oh, okay, you go by Richard," but and I was like, "Yeah, no, but like it's Perry. It's still the last name, right? Pery." And she was like, "Yeah." Didn't answer like why she messed up or
She was
anything.
just trying to make you say it, you think?
No,
She was
honestly,
trying to force your hand?
no, I think she messed up somewhere and then was like, I'm gonna put the blame on you, which was irritating. And then I go today because my dentist appointment was today, and they didn't have my appointment on file. So killing the game.
So we both had a long day.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like mine was just at least laughs, and yours seems like it was just sad. Like I could laugh about it.
Bro, I'll always laugh about it eventually. It's just too fresh right now.
Just dumb stuff. That's
so what are we
but
talking
luckily
about
we
today?
talk how every life is the worst. Like, if you just anticipate that life will be the worst, you're gonna be in a better place. Are you watching the video as we talk, or is that an old video?
I'm sorry.
Got to get them viewers up.
I wanted to have everybody on there. I wanted to even support myself.
Nice. That's man. Sometimes
if you're not going to support yourself,
you can't expect
if I'm
other
not
people
gonna,
to support you, man.
Yeah. If you don't believe in the product enough to watch the product while you're doing the product, how can I expect them to watch my product?
Yeah, man, that's factual. I agree with that.
There's no fallacy.
Unless you're like one of those actors who don't like to watch their own films.
I love watching this after. I watched last week's episode probably 7 times.
You were watching it like immediately after. Like not even taking notes, not learning from it, just entertaining. It was great. All right, cool. But what's on the docket this week, man? So
I think we promised
welcome, everybody. Let's get this going.
Welcome to thank you. We usually burn the first couple minutes just chit-chatting while you guys come in. So welcome to the drive. A lot of things have happened in the past week. What do the people want to hear about? I mean, we wanted to talk about the debates was on the docket.
Yeah. We got to touch on global warming.
We got to talk about that. We promised them last week.
Someone asked how we felt about distance learning. I mean,
we did talk about that.
Yeah, you're a dad, so I can't really speak too much on it. Like you can, I'll just leave that more in your wheelhouse.
We'll talk about that. I saw that. That was a good comment. Well, let's just jump right into it. What do you want to hit up first?
Should we just talk about the great debates?
The great debate. Statesmanship of 2020, the American presidential debate between Joseph Biden.
You're making it sound so official. And that was like the opposite of what it was. It was just.
Some would say it's the worst that's ever been done. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I feel like most people had to have watched that and just thought like, this can't be it. This can't be where we are, man. Like that. And that's really, I was looking at like, what do we do? How do we get rid of both of these options? Like, how do we
do you remember enact when I texted you right afterwards?
Convention? Yeah. I remember like, hey, yeah, man, I'm about to go watch this, take some notes. And you were like, dude, no. I made about an hour. Not one useful word was said. That was terrible, man. That was hard to watch. And this... That's just
don't be sad.
It's just like there's no way like that this didn't open America's eyes to let us know that we just have to like dump these two. Whatever we gotta do. what 328 million is our population in the U.S. There's bare minimum 1,000 people in the U.S. more qualified, would do a better job than the two. Like, we just got to do something, dude. Constitutional convention. Let's get it.
I was thinking about that today, bro. Like, these are the two, because I rewatched it today to get it fresh.
Yeah, you were watching.
These are the two that are going to be in charge of our country for 4 years. One dude, Trump, is just, honestly, I had a scoreboard. I left it at the house, so I can't even go over it. I gave him like a point every time he was petty. Bro, this man wouldn't let a single thing slide. Biden was like, he said something on the side. Trump's like, well, you said you graduated first year class. How'd that go? I'm like, bro, what do you mean? That doesn't help us. That doesn't help. Like, do you think you're being slick? Because you look petty. And you know, everybody on here knows I like Trump more than Biden. And I was like, I can't. It was so. And then Biden
even
just
say smart around.
He said, don't even say smart around me. And then Biden, bro, I don't even know if he answered a question they asked him. Like, direct questions, he would just be like, I'm not answering that. And it's like, I mean, people want to know how you feel. So
I felt like he was answering the moderators' questions, or at least trying. He definitely wasn't answering any of Trump. That's what I actually liked the end more than the beginning. I don't know. It was super hard for me to watch, and I know that's always a debate thing, but this one was like super, super bad with the interrupting thing. Like, it started with Biden, then Trump just like went crazy with it. And I'm even weird like that, taking this a whole opposite realm. When I watch battle raps on YouTube, like when they get real like interrupting, I don't really like that. You just gotta like be silent when it's not your turn, you know, let them talk. Then it just feels better. I feel like when you have to interrupt, it shows like you're just not ready for this shit, you know, or stuff.
Yeah, no, the interrupting was bad. I tried to keep track of that too, but it was pointless. But back to,
can we do like a swear jar where like all the people who viewed gets a percentage?
Bro, I was going to say every time I say bruh, I have to give like $1 to a charity, because I listened to it and I was like, I say bruh non-stop, but I ended up not bringing it up. We can bring it up right now. We can invent something new. How much are you going to put in the jar?
I mean, probably like a quarter, because I'm not trying to pay too much, but we'll see. Yeah, man, it was just bad. It was just bad.
It depressed me, bro. Really, now I'm in like a weird mood. I don't even want to be funny. I'm just like this.
It made me laugh though, just for the fact of like trying to be an outsider looking in. Like, dude, imagine if this was another country, we would be rolling. Like that's why we always have to play Big Brother. And it's like, no, we're idiots right now. And it's our turn to be that. And so here we are. It was terrible, just terrible.
Yeah, I took notes, and I'm not even sad I left them, just because there was nothing meaningful. Like, that was no value. I mean, if you had to say, you watched the whole thing. I never got to watch like probably the last 15 minutes. If you had to say who won to you.
Yeah, I would say Biden. I just felt like, and I personally, I know some people didn't like it. I personally liked when he went off and talked to the people. You know, I like that. But I just think it was a little bit. I was more giving him negative points for like just jumping in and, you know, harping on certain stuff. And then obviously like that big point of, I mean, I know Trump has denounced white supremacy before, but
I didn't get a chance to listen to that part.
You just have to denounce it every time. You
was
know,
that at the very end?
Or play. No, it was like in the middle. Or you have to play it that way, right? It's like, I already have denounced it, but it just looked way too obvious that he was dodging it, you know, Matrix style. But it was definitely, in my opinion, it was very terrible. But it was also because how I expected Biden to do. I expected him to just like get super, super flustered, and I thought he did just better than I expected. And I thought Trump was just gonna I thought he was gonna kill her. Yeah, me too. And so that's what I feel like the expectation probably helped that too. But
yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I usually I would want to argue with you, like, no, he was wrong, this and that. But like on this one, it's like Trump dropped the ball so bad that I can't even defend. Like, the parts I remember, I do remember Biden like, are you going to pack the court? I'm not going to answer that. Like, that's kind of important, you know. And then like, what's your healthcare plan? And he's like, it's not what Trump did. I'm better than Trump. And it's like, well, you got a plan? What's the plan? No answer. Well, you know, in 2021, you guys are going to dictate what happens. We open the economy. they asked Trump, he didn't really answer it. They asked Biden, he's like, 700,000 people did, and I'm like, bro, neither of you guys are doing.
Yeah, they weren't.
It was just frustrating.
Not
you can probably tell now I'm frustrated right now. Still, I shouldn't even watch it again. Mess my whole energy up.
I don't know if they should even do it, but if they do, I don't know if I'm watching the next couple.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just insanity, right? You just try the same thing over and over and hope for a different results. Yeah.
But what's next on the docket, man? Something a little more fun or something. Yeah. Give the people some hope.
This isn't fun, but I meant to talk to you about this last week. So remember I brought up Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah.
So Tyrod Taylor is a quarterback for the Chargers currently. Was about to start last week, so not this Sunday, the past Sunday. Was about to start, had a broken rib, so they were trying to shoot him up with something, painkiller, and punctured his lung.
Bro, I thought you were about to say someone shot him.
Oh no!
So I was like, he got shot.
No, but with it, like they tried to shoot him up with a painkiller, and how fast do you think that dude got fired?
Bro, NFL is Tyrod Taylor like a star or just a player?
He's not a star, but he was about to start. They had to put their second string in. Like,
I wonder if like the NFL has a value. Like they look at these players and like this is the value. Like, someone takes him out of a game. And they're like, all right, that was a couple
Honestly,
million.
It probably made him money because they just drafted a young quarterback, so it just got him a start, and then he actually did well. And so it was like, oh, never mind, go. Just another.
Do you watch The Boys on Amazon?
I do, it's so good.
You know how they're like monetized? Like the people are, and there's a whole world behind them that no one ever sees. I wonder if that's how the NFL is. There's like people who like cover up for them and take care of them, and they yell at them and all of that.
Oh, probably. The NFL's probably the easiest one for that, too, where they're just protecting their babies, their little nest eggs. But, yeah, man, I thought that was wild and just sad. But then, to give you a full story, I heard a quarterback talk about that who's had the shot before, and he said they do that. They, like, make you wait, and they'll sit there with you, and they'll say, like, we just have to have you sit here to see if it punctured your lung. But it, like, never happened, so... I mean, they at least knew about it, but that's kind of goes with how like the media does stuff. So that was my first thought was, damn, how fast did they fire him to? Oh, so they always know that's a risk, and it just never happens. That's still wild though, and if it never happens, and you're the doctor who makes it happen,
I would imagine something bad happened to him or his family over that, but I don't know. I didn't hear about that. What was our other top? We had top climate change. This was the one that people are here for. You're the resident climate change master.
I am not, man. All right. So your opinion on global warming and climate change is global warming.
Well, I mean, half the time I don't know if the Earth is flat or not. So I'm going to put that out now, so you guys know who I am. I used to be a real big anti-climate change guy, as you guys all know. Denier.
I feel like you were more a global warming because that's the one thing that like researching some of this. Why I feel like the one reason I would like to keep the show going is I'm getting a lot smarter.
You don't close your legs
researching stuff. But that's what just thinking about that. It's like I just don't even like climate change is one of those things where I don't know enough, and so you can argue that we're having more hurricanes and more fires because I don't really know. So if that's your argument, like more stuff's happening based on the global warming, because that's the difference, right? It's like it doesn't have to necessarily be warm climate differences. It could be colder winters, could be from global warming. Like that's climate change. And so when they argue climate change, I really don't know enough. I haven't tracked enough. I've tried to research more, and from what I've read, like we're seeing more like natural disaster type stuff. But I don't know. Global warming, I feel like more where you side on like a very like, nah.
My thing, just like when I'll bring it back to like flat earth, is sometimes you got to ask like, how do I know what I know? So whenever I talk to someone about climate change, they're like, you don't believe in climate change? I'm like, no, not particularly. You can talk to me about it though. Like, but 99% of scientists would know that like it's a fact. Like, what don't you believe? I'm like, I just don't know if I believe that's happening because they keep saying stuff that's not true. And when I look at it, they make predictions that don't end up happening. So I'm just curious. Like, what do you think about it? Like, you don't believe in it? And I'm like, I mean, I just had a little bit of a conversation with you. You could say something back now. So it's like, if it seems like my main issue with it is like people know, but they don't know why or how or who, what, where, when, why, how. And it's just, that's always kind of just irked me. Like, you just believe this blindly. And if I try and talk to you about it, you can't. Then there's some people who that's their life. Like, they view that as like climate change. We got it. And then when I talk to them, they like say all of this stuff. And I'm just like, I kind of feel you, but I kind of don't. Like, I don't know. There's nothing really profound there for me. Like, does it, like you said, it seems like it's getting a little warmer. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that. But then we got these goombas like Gavin Newsom out in public blaming every issue in California on that. Or I see in the news like Californians are leaving California because of climate change. It's like, bro, you should come live here. They'll tell you why they're leaving. And not one will say because of climate change. They're leaving because the taxes are too high. You know, the crime rate's going up. XYZ factor. You know, jobs are leaving. Cost of living. The rent's too high. They've got a million reasons. Climate change is not even on the top. So it's just kind of one of those things like, you just have to be honest. Like, you can't contribute the majority. Like, I mean, we'll talk about this with like Black Lives Matter or it applies to anything. Like, the response should be proportional to the problem. So like, if climate change is, let's just say it's a thing, right? We'll probably argue about it when you bring up some facts or details we can get into. But like, if it's a thing and the globe's heated up 1 degree Fahrenheit, like we should
9.99 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Fahrenheit.
Since when? You got the facts. We'll go over that. All right.
Since they tracked it.
So, but we got to be realistic. Like,
1.75.
And it doesn't seem like that's what's going on. So that's my issue with it now. But
that's the world temperature. No, I took some notes because I did want to know that. So it's less than 2 degrees warmer since we tracked it, which is 1880. But in the last 30 years, since 1990, it's went up 0.5 degrees Celsius.
So that's what I was talking about, 1 degree Fahrenheit. Thank you for
correcting me. Since 1990. So that's where they see. But, so I guess why this came, so we already planned on talking about it. I think we brought that up in the first video. Then, since then, those artists or whatever put that clock up in New York, right? We have 7 years.
Tell them about it in case they don't know.
Oh, yeah. So there's a clock up in New York for all these, like, people that probably can't do enough to change this when they should blast it to corporations probably, but whatever. They're blasting it for everyone to see, and it's like a countdown tracker of when, not the world will end, but when it'll be irreversible damage and that we won't be able to do enough. I 100% can tell you, I don't know exactly what that's based on, but I did read what they think it is that it's that 7 years we could raise the global temperature 1.5 degrees Celsius more than it already is. So not just an extra 0.5, 1.5. So what we haven't done since we've tracked it.
Okay. So they're taking an assumption that's never happened and applying it to the future. Based
on the last 30 years speeding up, they're thinking, that's where I don't really know where they get that number from, but now they think we're going to do, triple that in 7 years. So what we've done in 30 years, we're going to triple that in the next 7 and do irreversible damage. Which, from what I read, because that was an interesting thing to me, from what I read, if we stopped right now, so if you don't know, like what they believe is the main cause of global warming is CO2 emissions up in our atmosphere.
Okay.
And they just sit there because they can't get out. So then, just sits.
Oh, that's what we should have done as a primer. So then I would, so that's a good point.
So that's like what's causing global warming. So it is a big, like when you think about that, like the whole world being up 1 degree, just think of like a pool even. Or if you've been to the ocean after summer and you're like, dude, this water should not still be cold. It's like, nah, it takes a lot to warm something up, even that small. So with that in mind, like I understand that. It takes a long time, but just another 1.5 seems crazy. But so that's what it's based on. I wanted to look at more into one of my big arguments before I researched anything, just my thought was we've had multiple ice ages, right? So it seems like the world warms, then it cools and it warms. And so that's what I researched first was like, what's the main arguments like that we're just speeding it up? Yes, that is true. We're speeding up. But I did read that a lot of scientists believe if we cut CO2 emissions, literally just cut them to zero, the temperature would still rise for the next 1,000 years, just based on the damage we've already done. So we're really not going to stop it from rising. We just don't want it to rise that fast, or we want to slow it. And there's probably some comments educating us too. So if you're reading them, please do to give us a better idea. Because you could probably educate us on a lot too. And so, I mean, in some of the ways that they believe that it's going to keep rising is the oceans already holding a bunch of CO2 emissions. They believe the way that we, do agriculture now, we have a bunch of CO2 emissions just sitting in the soils right now that are going to, once we stop doing it ourselves, it's going to creep out up into the atmosphere too. So I don't know, man. I think I definitely understand it. I do think we should do something. I think something's going to, happen. I think their plans right now are kind of crazy. Like they want to shoot up reflective balls above the atmosphere. So we just could kind of manage how many sun rays come in. But then I thought that was interesting so we had a brief, they call it the Little Ice Age in the 17th century. And it was from the atmosphere or the temperature going down by like 1 to 2 degrees too. So it's like, even if we were like, we could do bad stuff reversing it too. So it's just really like finding the safety zone. So,
but here, I mean, so there, so there's climate change. Then but like, this is the part where like another dicey spot where things get. Should the government be our moral dictators and be able to, executive order something on us? Because they're like, on one hand, I agree with them. Like, the population is stupid and you got to kind of guide them towards things. Mm-hmm. But on the other side, like, is it their job to say, like, oh, no more gas cars by 2035? Because it, like, well, if you get all the information out, and shouldn't we, like, isn't the government for us? They're not.
No, I mean, that's why they could executive order money that we voted to spend a certain way, right? Which is, I feel like, should be criminal. We literally voted as a society, money should go here. You executive order and move not a little bit, $5 billion of that money is right. I mean, no, they shouldn't be able to do that. But now, not only are we in this state too where they do it because a lot of people are idiots, and so a lot of people feel like we should have what we believe are smarter people making those decisions. But then we have the other half that are just very follow authority, right? So it's everything they're the government, and just like you were saying about science, like, why would they lie? It's like, I don't know, but I at least want to read it, because now, especially lately in researching stuff, I've read a bunch of stuff that I end up reading to find out that they didn't really lie. They just lied more by omission. They left stuff out or they misrepresented stuff. And so, I don't know. And that it goes back to like what you're talking about. Like, it's one of those things that sometimes I just like to argue and play the devil's advocate for that reason, that I just know people don't really know.
Yeah, and that's another part. You know me, like, I'll just argue with somebody just because I'm bored all the time. And then like, I'll have to bail or whatever happens. But that's just, that's one where it's like, okay, even if we all do agree on it, that it's happening, like, because there's Republicans and Democrats that agree. It is weird to me that other red flag is that, like, as far as like politically goes, like, one party is obviously using it to push their other agenda items. You're like, the Green New Deal. I don't know if you read about that from AOC and all of this stuff is like, dude, it doesn't seem genuine. Like, it kind of seems like you call these names, these names, and you tax us, and then you give the money to other, like, what is me giving you more money going to do about CO2 emissions?
It's just like another thing to add these taxes to, That's when you just think about how often they just add taxes to education, right? These are going to go to schools. These are going to go to infrastructure. That's like the new thing is like, this is going to go to green environment stuff. And so people easily, take it or vote like yes
kids.
On it. They just vote
hey,
yes
this
on
is for the kids. Like, bro, how much money do you need for the kids, bro? We've been taking money for the kids. I guarantee if we look at the prop list this year, which I have one, we should read it next week. There's going to be something on there. The kids need more money. The teachers need more money. The firefighters need more money. Like, how much money do they need?
Yeah.
When do we stop? but the answer is, oh, they're not actually. Once you look like, oh, they're getting 10% of the money, and the other 90% is for illegal immigrants or green initiatives. We got to put solar panels to cancel out.
But it's crazy we're already voting props for that stuff too, and they're taking money from the stuff that, and usually it's because those votes don't go through, so they're like, let me take money from there. But dude, it's wow.
Bro. Anyway, my bad. Just some crazy stuff on my street. But so I mean, yeah, there's climate change, not the sexiest thing to talk about, but the dude who wanted to talk about it isn't here to talk about it. So because that was an Alan question, I think.
Yeah, I definitely wish he was here to talk about it more.
And then as far as props, we should what's the date? Today's the 1st. So we should maybe in the next 2 weeks, like go over. We did that last time. Go over the props and say we're voting for it. I
don't even want to do it, bro, because it didn't work.
Bro, we had a couple people who changed their mind.
It was a great conversation, but most I feel like it was like legit what I wanted.
Oh yeah.
That was just terrible, and it wasn't even like anybody. Except now there was some stuff I didn't really care about, but
well, bro, because the way this state is set up. Think about my favorite thing to talk about is the bullet train. Do you know where the bullet train was going to and from? Where it's going to start, where it's going to end?
No, I had a Lyft driver talk to me about the bullet train. It was one of the worst Lyft experiences I've had in my life. But go ahead. Sorry.
But it's just an example, like, bro, people voted.
I want that answer though.
So it was roughly going from like LA area to San Francisco area. I mean, I don't think it was direct LA to San Francisco, but roughly those two
spaces. Did it make it up to SAC?
It wasn't going to go to SAC. It wasn't going to go to Redding. It wasn't going to go. So, like, anyone who voted for that, why? Can someone explain to me why? Were you going to drive from Sacramento to San Francisco to get on a train to LA when you could fly that? Like, why? I don't know, but it passed. And then here we are 12 years later. Have you been on it yet?
No.
Oh, why?
Because it's not a thing. They never.
No, it was going to be done by now.
No, but it's not. I think they gave up too. Are they still doing it?
Did you get your money back?
I did not. I ain't gonna vote back.
That was weird. I didn't hear about that.
That's what's crazy, bro. Is like voting on stuff and your money's just gone.
$100 billion, I think, will be allocated to that. Our kids will be paying that off, and we'll never ride on it. Even if they did build it, we would have never rode on it. Anyone who voted for it, you shouldn't even be allowed to vote, or you can
unless you maybe lived in LA or Frisco and needed to travel.
But then, bro, we should shoot all of them because, like, if you got then LA and San Francisco, you guys get together and build something.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like a 2-city thing. You know, you guys pay for that. They have the money,
bro. That's
at least
I would call that tyranny personally. When all these people get together, they do something that benefits them. And they're like, people in Sacramento, who lives in Redding? Inbred people, like, they don't, who cares what they like?
But it gets us closer to futuristic shit stuff.
Tokyo has one. Remember people like, Tokyo has a bullet train? Do you remember those idiots? God, man, that one always gets my blood going.
Get you I remember that's what it was, though. It was like, you'll get there faster than a flight.
Bro, not if I have to drive there to get on the train, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I'm yelling. It's probably
how fast. I wonder how fast was it going to go? Or,
it doesn't matter
because it's not going anywhere.
It hasn't gone 0 miles an hour yet, bro. Pisses me off. Really gets my blood boiling, man. And
they should just run you that money back. I feel like you owe me that. Well, especially if you did it based on a prediction too, because if you didn't finish it, there's some money left somewhere.
Where's that $20 billion?
Yeah.
Bro, you know all the politicians and contractors. We're out at drinks, talking about contracts. There's probably some girls involved, maybe a little alcohol involved. They shotgunning a couple brewskis. Maybe some narcotics involved. So who knows? Our money's gone, bro, in the hands of drug dealers by now, probably in pimps. So it is. I don't even know what to say about it.
And then they can't even spend it because you can't spend cash at a lot of places now. You got to have your card. So, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scream at you guys. I get passionate sometimes. Bro, you're going to say, there goes my eardrums. You were just here. Your ears would be fine. Anyway, bro. Oh, so let's talk about, or do you want to save it? You saw that Newsom did the reparation thing.
I didn't read it at all. I didn't read it. I wanted to read it.
This is so. I'll just don't take this as we're just rapping. We're having fun. We'll have an official opinion for next week. What I read is that he's starting a commission to research how much money, or if any, and to who should get reparations in California.
I want to know. All right,
can we agree? It's in 2023.
Can we agree that if they decide to give people money, it should be more money than the research project costs? Because that's for sure some stuff they would do, man. Like, they would really spend $2 billion to research this to give out $100 million. Like, they are real disrespectful.
And then it'll cost them another $100 million to get. They need accountants. The accountants need an HR. HR needs an HR manager.
Yeah, because now they don't even want to send it out to you too. They want to direct deposit it, but they don't want to work with the IRS, so they have to form this new committee. But the new committee doesn't form any new jobs because they're just going to repurpose people who are already not doing a damn thing.
And then where's that money going to come from? We got to pull that out of the reparation fund. I know we passed the bond, but we got to get these jobs. But think about now they're union members. You know how CalPERS goes.
But we don't want fires anymore, so we're about to get a bunch of new stuff where we're going to give money to infrastructure because they keep stealing money from infrastructure. So then they'll finally maybe do some of the work. But right when they're going to do the work, they got to take that money to give reparations because they took from reparations to give to immigrants.
And then, we'll pass a bill for the kids. You know they always fall for the kids, right? So the kids need more money again. So but
kids in school are still using books with Richard Perry in the front of the book. So killing it.
And that brings, we'll circle back to reparations, but that brings us to our mobile learning, distance learning. How you feel about that?
I don't really know in that. I'll let you.
If you had to learn something right now, would you rather go to class or would you rather learn it on YouTube or something?
You already know. I feel like you could run a whole education system from YouTube. They should do that. YouTube learning. You could
YouTube University.
Dude, I just think of all the stuff I've learned on YouTube. That's not even counting just internet stuff, just specifically YouTube, researching stuff to learn how to do stuff myself. That's my opinion now. And I think if you built that, it would be smart, which we didn't do, right? This is a pandemic that everyone's like just doing kind of safety or emergency measures for. And so that's not the case. You have I couldn't imagine. I'm such I would have been like, yeah, I would have had to put some little fake looped video on my screen. I would have been outside hooping, playing tag, and that's how it was too. Like growing up, I lived in apartments with a bunch of kids who were all allowed to be outside. So I could just imagine hearing everyone outside while I'm just on my Zoom meeting. Nah. Luckily back then we had them little fuzzy, terrible cameras, so you could probably put like a stuffed animal right there.
Have your sister sit. I'll give you $20 to sit here.
Seriously.
Today, with as much technology as we have, like, I got a degree online, and it worked for me. I got a pay raise, the whole bit, so I won't complain about it. And I did learn some stuff. If I could go, I liked high school the way it was. So maybe, but this was my theory. This is what I was thinking about last week. I was arguing with someone on Facebook.
No homecoming.
Who says? You can still. So here, what if
because you can't have them go do that type of stuff when, dude, chaperones would be happy that 3 feet dancing thing right away. 6 feet dancing now. You could do line
with a ruler,
but it would actually be fun, man, because you could just do electric slide stuff. You could line dance. You could cha-cha slide. You would just have to do all the fun stuff.
And since you probably don't have a girrend because you don't,
or you just turn them all into like smacking skate parties, and you just in there skating,
at the skating rink.
Just sock hops, then hit the sock hop after for the real dance. Keep getting it. Nah. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you? But who says? How are you gonna have those events?
No, but like, what if? So here's an example. What if you still? I guess this is different than the question. But what if you could go to school, and instead of a teacher sitting in front of you, talking to 30 people who probably isn't even qualified to teach kindergartners, you could go to school, have a computer, and learn from the greatest minds in the world. And then you go to recess. And then you come back or something like that.
Yeah, like if you could still go to, that would be dope. But then that's kind of like weird. I guess it's still distance learning, but in a location. I'm just more thinking of, just like walking the stage type stuff. I guess you could still do it. Or you could just do it like when those events are coming up, you do it like NBA bubble style where you all have to get tested and then Come in. If you good, you get to party it up. And you just in there living it, knowing everybody around you safe. Hey, cutting that thing up.
You have problems, bro. All you want to do is dance. I'm
like,
trying to get these kids an education.
Well, I'm just saying, as a kid, that's what I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about like, oh man, how am I going to learn all this stuff? Which I should have been, but luckily I've learned later that I still do like to learn, and that's awesome. But
I think, all right.
I mean, in high school, that really like what I think about is that, and we've talked about this before. When you think of just high school and how big of a threat not walking was, that to me, like, it didn't matter if you were in senior year, you probably got threatened not to walk for anything. Like,
bro, I was like a model student, bro. I'd be in the halls just between, like, when I'm not supposed to be like, Julian. I'm like, what's up? Like, you have a pass? Like, no, like. You think you're gonna walk? Like,
yeah, serious. But it was a huge threat. Like, you were terrified when I got back to your house, and like no one got to walk. Man, that's sad. Just thinking about that, that's sad. But or not, man. Dude, think if you couldn't play sports your senior year. Like, oh.
Yeah, sports. I mean, that would be one thing that would be missed.
Dude, that's basketball got canceled in the playoffs, like almost right before state too. So imagine you're a senior, you're like basically in the state tournament, and you don't get to play. That
yeah, the lacrosse team was crap anyway, so it might have been better if I didn't play my senior year. No, I'm just playing. I love you guys if you're watching, but we were garbage. But
that's all right. Say you carried them. You were the star player. Your back still hurts from it. I get it. Okay.
But all right. So let me ask you a question. What if you could go? Because this would knock out two birds with one stone. Elementary, junior high, high school, you go to school in person. Name one good reason that college should not be online.
Oh, I think this has to open everyone's eyes that you could do this online. Now, I will say, as someone who only went to junior college too, so I didn't even go to university. College was a blast, though.
Well,
you gotta learn some stuff. I don't know that these kids even want to do anything like that anyway. They're gonna just be moving all their electronics to a different location. But like us, when you were like trying to live it up and have fun and do what the people who are spending all that bullet train money did, maybe less fancy alcohol, maybe a little E&J Parmesan.
Parmesan. You got problems.
You know what I'm saying? Shotgunning some Pabst Blue Ribbons,
I still drink Pabst Blue Ribbons, but that I was thinking because they're like, kids have the right to go to college, and I was like, you know what? I don't disagree. But like, it's not my job to pay to send you to drink your Parmesan.
But I just feel bad for the parents though, because where do you kick your kids out to? I feel like
to the street.
No, there'll probably be more kids in the military, because normally you just send them to the dorms, get them the heck out of your house.
I don't know, bro. I feel
honestly, that's who I probably feel for more than the kids or parents. Like, you didn't sign up for this.
But if you don't have to pay for their school, just go get them an apartment, or maybe there'll be some new version. Because bro, we pay like to go to Sac State when I applied. I want to say it was like $22,000 a year. That was in 2011.
What if you did like favors for the dean? A little bit less?
They wouldn't give me any time with it, bro. I left the messages. I hit them up on the book. They weren't showing me any love.
And then like a wink doesn't come through in the voicemail. Right? Like,
yeah, they weren't picking up my vibes right, I don't think.
Did you try to call them with your like sleepy voice though?
No, I just snapped him with those filters, the hearts and the real smooth skin, and he didn't view it.
Oh man.
Left it on red.
Did you send him the one where you were the chocolate dog when you told him he could be the Dalmatian?
I'm not doing this anymore. I'm uncomfortable. My parents watch this.
Yeah. He didn't offer any favors for that scholarship.
No,
as
that's
you can
why
tell,
I didn't
because he would have got it.
Yeah.
If he would have went,
as you can tell by my degree from WGU, nothing happened.
What does that stand for? Western Georgia or something?
Western Governor University.
Western Governor.
Yeah.
Where is it actually located somewhere? Or is it just online?
No, this is the right idea. So that school was started allegedly, I think it's what it says on the webpage, by the governors of Western states. Oregon, Washington, California, Utah.
Well, who were the governors at the time? Because that's how I'm going to judge the school.
I don't know, but it's a good idea. Like not all of our kids can afford to or have the minds to do certain. Not everyone's going to go to Stanford. Not everyone's going to do this, but you can go online, get a degree for 10 grand, and
that'd be cool if you just had like a random abbreviation and it's just RDC. Like, what does RDC stand for? Random Dude College. Like, what do you mean random dude? Like some random dudes made it. They weren't very creative with the name. I mean, yeah, they really named
a bunch of random dudes go there.
They didn't name it after any. They just were like, we're governors of Western states. We're the
what should we call it?
Western Governor College.
It's probably like Utah is like, we should call it Utah College of the Internet. And then the Oregon guy was like, no. And then someone was like, how about we call it the Western Governors University? And that's stuff.
Honestly, after the ideas we just came up with, it probably was the best idea in that room.
Oh, it was. It was.
Good for them.
What do we have left to talk about, bro? We're at 40 minutes.
Oh, man, we're crushing it this week, man. Not rambling on for too long about dumb stuff.
What's up, bro? It's good to see you guys, man.
Yeah, shout out to everybody here in the comments. I've been trying to read them a little bit, but I'm the worst. Yeah, I don't know if we could do that, Shiloh. I think that's on your end. Yeah, I think you might need to put subtitles on. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, our producer could be typing it as we were doing it. Or we could just have a sign language person in the back. But I don't know if we can even get close.
Dude, speaking of sign language, it's a little weird that we don't have a universal sign language, right? Like, that just seems like that's the easiest way to communicate. Universally.
But I mean, weird. What if you can't be right in front of someone? You're going to record your hands?
But it wasn't a thing in the beginning where there was no phones, right? I mean, I guess it could have been. You just never heard of it.
You mean like in the beginning of time?
I guess you would have still... Well, yeah, before phones, right? Because that's what you're talking about, before phones. Because then you could still type. You could still type the things you sign. And I don't mean the actual things. You're not like drawing hands or something. I don't know. It just feels... It just doesn't seem right that there's not a universal language.
Right.
But I guess when people are getting their arms cut off and stuff too, that's not ideal for you to just be one hand signing.
But I mean, most people can make noises with their mouth, so that's the easier solution probably.
But why isn't there one of those either?
Because there was one, if you believe in the Bible, and then we got cast across the seas and we all lost our language.
That's true.
But if you don't believe in the Bible, then I don't have an answer. You would think there would be one. I don't know.
Does it talk about the different languages, though? Why the different languages? Because that's after the flood, right?
The Tower of Babel, everyone got together and said, we're going to build the tower to the skies. We're so smart. We're smart as the gods. We're going to go and see God up there. And God said, no, you're not. And then they tried to talk to each other after he left, and they couldn't understand each other. And then he sent them across to these other places. That's the story. I'm sticking to it.
Nice.
All right. But what were we talking about before that? Universal language, reparations. We didn't finish reparations.
Sorry.
That's what I want to talk about.
All right. Cool.
How much money do you want?
I'm down to take away.
Bro, you're barely black. What if you missed the cutoff?
I'm 34% black.
What if it was
you think that's the cutoff?
No, it would be 33% probably.
A third?
Because I'm 50% black. But that's not,
enough. You don't.
So would I get half as much as a full black person?
I just feel like, what if you're more white though? Like I am, right? Like I'm more white than I am black. Is it like, you kind of got more of a guilty side? You gotta hold that down. Even though that's not true, my white side actually was a slave too. I read the actual.
Everybody was slaves where I come from.
I'm saying my family was doing bad, bro. So one of my great grandfathers was sold into indentured servitude because his mom couldn't afford to raise him. And I read like the actual contract, like thou art these in it. It was
that's crazy. I should
pretty interesting, but they did it for your family had to like research this. That's what when I got on there, my family had done a bunch of research, so I got to just look through all their hard work. And then I kind of like Google searched some stuff off of that just to see if I could find some stuff, and it was pretty cool, man. I was surprised about that. I learned that my family was here before the Revolutionary War and fought on the American side of the Revolutionary War, which was pretty interesting. Then two brothers fought on like some movie stuff on opposite sides of the Civil War. It was dude. So how they came to the U.S. is like most originally criminals. Like they got sent over here to do jail time, stayed over here after he got out, loved it, hit his brothers up and were like, "Yo, y'all got to come." My great grandfather was one of the brothers. He was like, "All right." Then they came and
I don't know. Your story is a little too clean. I want to look.
Honestly,
conveniently, it wasn't your grandpa who was the prisoner. It was his brother.
Well, no. Yeah, so all of my family was slaves. Yeah, your story's too clean, bro. I don't really like that your family was slaves.
Well, because it would have been, even your should have had, somebody would have been a slaveholder. That would have been messy.
Well, and they were both in, like, my African family came to, my bad, were brought to South Carolina. But then the white side of my family was in South Carolina too. And that's not like when the change happened, obviously. Oh. The change happened, my mom and dad. But yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. So how much do I want? Whatever they're willing to give me, man. I didn't really ask for the $1,200, but when they gave it to me, I cashed it just like I would any check they send me.
Well, that's the problem.
Man, I'm in class actions. People send me class action checks all the time. I'm like,
I never even worked here, but I'll take it.
Yeah. How much? $36.42? Sounds good to me.
Dang, I think I have a check coming actually, but that's enough. So
me
here's
too,
the thing, though.
GM's trash. So them damn trash Impalas.
Don't you think that's kind of like just like a little bit of shady politics? Like they're obviously buying votes, right? Like that doesn't feel a little wrong. Like they're obviously like, if we're the ones who give them money, they'll vote for us. So is there an end to, like? Is there an end, or are you going to give Asians money and Mexicans money and everybody money?
Didn't they give Japanese people money after everything that happened? I'm pretty sure they did.
I would say it's a little different because they actually took their. I mean, I'm not saying it's different, but like if they took Julian's property and then let me go, and we're not giving you anything though, that'd be. I mean, everybody got wrong. I don't want to be insensitive, but my point is like. To steal someone's property directly and in your lifetime be like, you got to just go buy another house.
I feel you. I feel the little bit of difference there. But I think, bringing people over here, freeing them, and then telling them they can't get property is pretty icy too. Not as icy, but it's like what you even said. Where does it end? You're going to feel kind of wronged if it ended right before you, Like, we even gave Jews money. We didn't even do anything. Then we gave Japanese people money.
Jews in America?
Yeah. Right?
I don't know why we gave them money.
And then we gave more understanding, right? Japanese people money. And then, like you were saying, most people even said that too, probably was like, where does this stop? And they were like, right here. No reparations. So that's where it's like, I just feel like it's kind of late, man. It's kind of late. If you have like people who are like direct descendants, like, probably our grandparents' age, like if there's direct descendants there, give them money. I'm fine with that. Like, if you really were impacted by it directly, I understand like a lot of the stuff that has come from it. I just think like money's not the answer. I think there's like opportunities you could have gave.
Well, because where does the money come from?
The military budget we spend way too much money on. The other stuff they steal money from already. Let's just steal money from another place again.
But I mean, I'm fine with that if they wanted to take it back. So you got to raise tax. So you got to raise taxes on businesses to give it to black people. It's just like, bro, that's stealing, and then they're just going to leave and not pay the tax, and the black people who work there are now out of a job.
Or if you tax black business owners to give them less money than you tax them. Counterintuitive. That's what I do. I don't know.
There's logistical issues.
I do think it could come from something we're overspending on currently, though.
So, like, if we didn't send any money to... But here's the thing. California doesn't have a military. They do have a military, the California National Guard or whatever, but, like, it's not like we have $1 trillion a year military budget or something. So, I don't we'll see. California is going to tax businesses again. They're going to leave. People are going to lose jobs, and the cycle continues. It's just a never-ending. And did California have slaves? I think they weren't a free state, but remember they talked about that in high school. I think.
Well, I don't think they had slaves, but I remember them being like, "Black people can't come here." Like, they're like, "Nah, we good. We just got the Mexicans out."
I remember there was something
we just
weird
got rid
about
of the Aztecs and sent them off to the Caribbean. So. You're not coming here. It's bad.
Yeah, I don't remember. I won't even
Same thing, yeah.
But I'd be curious. I mean, I know it wasn't, Louisiana or or nothing like
Oh,
that.
so that's where you're getting to your point too, where it's like, why is California?
Yeah. It wasn't like there was government, mandated slavery here. So like,
Yeah,
it's just an interest. To me, it's just obvious. To me, that would be considered corruption. If I was a politician and I was like, I need these people to vote for me, then I'm like, convenient. Like, I'm gonna be the guy who gives you guys these money.
So you think of between now and the election, Trump executive orders another stimulus check? That's the same thing.
I think the stimulus check is garbage too. But let me think.
But
about
just
your
in
question.
that
Let me think
case,
about your
like
question
in
one second.
between now and then,
So
he just executive orders a stimulus check to everybody.
I'm trying to think because I already disagree with the stimulus checks. I'm trying to come up with an original reason to fit your argument. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm just going into like the same thing of like buying votes. Like if you're trying to executive order it too, right before the election.
Yeah, I think.
Would that be viewed the same? Like,
I would view it the same. I already viewed the original ones as this like.
Did you view it as political though, or just dumb? Like this
stupid.
is dumb.
Well, I think that you got to remember.
Because
the original wasn't an executive order, so you're throwing a lot of variables and trying to make sense.
Well, no, and that's why I'm going there because it was like talked about. Trump was like an executive order and package, and if he did it that way, do you think that would be more politically based on trying to get votes?
So here would be the difference. This would be the difference that I would want to qualify with. If Trump and Biden were tied in Pennsylvania, and Trump was like, "I think Pennsylvania needs a stimulus check." I'd like, bro, you're a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because he's not, the difference between reparations and the stimulus check is like, reparations is for a single pot. It's not all of California's getting a check.
Yeah.
It's like these specific people, and again.
So you're buying less votes.
You're buying less votes. Yeah. So like I said, if Trump did it, I'd be like, bro, you're a dog for that, and I was upset about the original. We just weren't talking about it on here.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's just another thing.
Were you upset when you got it? Just upset.
Honestly, I was at work at the time, and I was talking with my coworkers. Like they put me in an impossible situation because I was looking. You could ask him. His name's Adam. We were talking about it. And I was like,
does he watch these videos?
He might. I hope he does. But I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, it would be. There's like leverage, right? Like, if I give this back, no one benefits, and I lose. I'm like
your morals, your moral bank.
My moral bank would be full to the top.
Yep.
Full to overflowing.
Overflowing.
But it's the same thing they do with all of that stuff, where it's like, it's like, what difference do I make? So they that's why the correct situation is to not put people. Just don't offer them all this free stuff, and they never have to decide. Instead, it's like nobody, bro, will not take a free check. No one I know, that doesn't mean I'm right, but like, it's just a weird situation to put someone in. Like, well, here's some money, like,
and it does.
But why don't you just not give us money? Like,
yeah,
because I don't know. It's just a weird.
But lots of people wanted it, man, and needed it, and good for them. I mean, yeah, personally, it was money for me to put away, which I loved and appreciated. So
yeah, I think I invested it probably, but still, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
See, that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, can you put your money where your mouth is, man? Like your moral opinion on it. But then when you thought logically, it's like, this doesn't go back anywhere. They don't tax me less because of my moral compass.
Yeah,
right?
And it just doesn't. It was like.
But I mean, you said you watched The Boys, right? Like, remember he ripped up that check? He was like, no.
Yeah, I always get pissed when they do that, bro. I get upset.
See?
In movies when they're like, I'm going to burn this pile of money. Like, no, you better not. But, I mean, it's just... But my point is, so they give you this money, like, they get you on, like, the hook. And then they just kind of walk you forward. Like, oh, no, here's a little more. We'll give you more. No, don't worry about it. There's more where that came from. Trust us. There's more. We'll figure it out later. And no one's strong in it. It's like the strongest drug. So it's just real. It's a crazy spot. They shouldn't even be allowed to do it. I don't know.
Man, free stuff is a strong drug, but attention, dude, clout and attention, that drug right now is insane, dude.
You think they could give stimulus likes? Just go like all these pictures, bro. What would that do?
People would probably want that more than money, bro. They'd be like, you know how much free stuff I could get on Instagram if you give me stimulus likes? Oh god, dude, that's not even funny because if they offered that, there would probably be people. They should do that,
bro. I know.
And then all the people who take the likes can't vote.
I know people who would take social media clout over money 100% of the time.
For sure.
That's a whole. We need to talk about that next week because honestly, having an Instagram and a Facebook depresses me, bro. Honestly, I'm depressed. Not literally, like I can't get out of bed in the morning, but like it upsets me every day.
I think watching The Social Dilemma, and then I watched or I read the book 12 Ways Your Phone's Changing You. And I don't know, man, that kind of just gave me like a better understanding of my phone. And not that I've like really gotten off of it like I should, but like just a little more to where I try not to let it impact me as much, like seeing people's highlight reels and stuff like that. I don't really judge other people.
Just when I see a girl on there, I'm like, oh, she's a young, attractive woman, like, and then they're just like doing this thirsty stuff. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, I guess you're not stripping, and it's not even a moral judgment on it. Like, it's just like, why does our society like make that value? Like, I can't verbalize it, bro.
I know what you mean, though. It's like, why would they not do it either? Like, as much as
if I was whatever, and I was getting a reaction, it's the same thing with dudes who post pictures of money. The same thing, like, bro, why do you want these people to like, like, what are you trying to portray and why? And maybe I should just ask them. But if it was a girl, he'd be like, you're a creep. If it was a guy, he'd be like, you're a hater. And I don't know. I'm just rambling, I guess. But I see those videos and stuff, and it makes me sad.
That's like catcalling. I really
miss it.
The catcalling argument is like, I understand it because honestly, man, like being a woman would suck for just not being able to walk anywhere. But like people catcall because catcalling works. Like it might not work all the time, and it might not work on you because it's not the right dude. And I don't mean like that, like real when you think of like the worst, yo baby, like, yellow shirt. Like,
why are you so good at it?
Like I don't, because I feel like when people talk about catcalling, they talk about the most extreme. But like, I always see like women are super happy because dudes are saying that super classic line of "Why don't you smile, girl?"
Oh.
But I just even mean like that stuff. Like honestly, if the right person said it to you, I think it's not an issue. It's just that 99% of the time it's someone you just really, really don't want to say those words to you. But and like I said,
we've been out and a woman will come up to me and say something. I'm like, oh God, like this is not who I wanted in here. Like. So I know how I can imagine like being a girl. You're just at Kohl's
every day, yeah.
And Julian comes up like, oh, I just had to meet you, and they're like.
Well, imagine if they're doing real creepy stuff where they're like, "Oh, can I grab that shirt over there?" They're like rubbing right on your butt when they walk by.
Okay, I never do that.
I'm not saying you do, but that dude, honestly, man, I do feel for women in a lot of just day-to-day life. That like, and it does. Like, dudes are just weird, man. Luckily,
you just solved my core problem. Like and I know the feminists are going to get on me for this, but like I'm saying this out of love, like. Men being a bunch of simps have like done something weird to women, like, oh, like this is what men want, like this is how I get the desired reaction. And there's all these dudes on there like, oh yeah, you look so hot, or I don't know, my impersonation's pretty crap, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to get out in these comments more. They not saying stuff like that.
They don't talk like that since 2009. Well, no one slides in my DM, so I don't know, but like. My point is like, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably be doing the same thing. I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. That's all. That's all I got.
Canceled. Dude, it's about cancel, man. We gotta cancel everything.
Could we cancel twerking videos on Instagram?
No, we need to cancel birthday cards, bro. Useless. like one of the most useless
Bro,
things ever.
$6 I just paid for one.
Bro, honest, and so and that Bree, I just love Bree for this. If you can't read, you're definitely not getting a birthday card. It's absurd. I'm not wasting my money on the card. None of that. Like, it's just dumb. And as maybe it's not a black thing, I do feel like it's possibly a black thing. We buy the card like on our way to the party, so you're in the card writing on your knees, so the handwriting doesn't even look like yours. And then it's just weird too, man, because then you're like, I don't know if your mom's like mine, but there's just like a bunch of cards up by the TV, and it's Christmas cards and birthday cards from 10 years ago. But then there's other ones she keeps in like a Albertsons bag, and Albertsons isn't even a thing, so it's a super old bag. That's probably going to fall out the bottom,
What would you rather have? If I was going to, it's your birthday, I can get you $50 Amazon gift card and then $6 card to put in it. Or would you just rather have $56 to Amazon?
56, bro. Absolutely.
We need to come out and really do this now.
If you don't get a present and you're giving someone money, whatever. If you want to slide it in a card, so that's like their little gift, they could open it. If you get them something that they really like, maybe it's their little favorite character or something, they're into Betty Boop. I don't know. Like, go ahead, feel free. But I'm just saying, like, we got to end that tradition, man. For real, it's just pointless. I don't understand it. I don't like it. And if you don't get a card from me, I still love you, and I probably spent more on your gift.
Those ads where it's like, Hallmark hates this guy for this secret. Those things on the bottom. You're about to put Hallmark out of business. But
good, because that channel sucks too. Like all those Lacey Chabert movies.
Why do you know the name?
Allison Sweeney. My mom watches all those movies, and they're crap, bro. The worst part is it's always the girls being grimy to their husbands. They're always cheating on their husbands with some dude that they knew back in their hometown, because they're back in their hometown to throw some festival. And then, they leave their husband for this dude, and it's like, oh, well, that's her first love. Like The Notebook, also a terrible movie, because the woman's grimy, leaves her husband just because this dude bought a house for her, and it's crazy. And I like, dude, get out of here.
Spoiler, bro. I never saw that.
That movie's old, man. If you haven't saw it, sorry. Sixth Sense, he sees dead people. He was dead. He was dead the whole time. He was dead the whole time. It was crazy.
Bro, do we have anything else to say to these people?
Man, let's get rid of these birthday cards. Shout out to no more birthday cards. Oh, and man, we gotta start doing weddings potluck style. Like, people paying for their own weddings is ridiculous. It is dumb. Another dumb tradition.
Bro, that is
people paying, like, the people who believe in your marriage should come together to
bro, my first wedding would have been empty, bro. No food.
That's
how you know.
That's how we judge. When you have nothing there because no one supported your wedding, you're just in here just
hungry,
so like
lonely,
just eating some of them little cheddar cheese crackers with peanut butter in the middle. Just real sad.
You better hope your mom can cook, bro, because she's the only one who's gonna be there helping you out.
You better get a big plate of spaghetti, bro. That's all you're gonna do. Just ridiculous, man. So
video.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you show up to if I ever get married again, and you show up, you better bring snacks.
I'm just saying, like, throw a big party, right? Like, know a pastor, have them come through. They support you. They're just gonna officiate. You have your homie on the aux cord getting it, or a DJ, because they support you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you support them, pay them because, you support what they do too. But, dude, we got to do something. We got to start killing some of these traditions. Because our parents put in place some real terrible traditions. I'm not a huge fan.
You got to get rid of some. The Cabana Club.
See? They got the right idea, bro.
That's pretty solid. If they were still around, I would do that.
Oh, of course you would. You would definitely be one of the people.
Bro, think about how big that dance floor is in there.
I've cut a couple rugs in there. Dude, that's how funny that is, like, thinking about that, like the Cabana Club. I've been a kid at the Cabana Club, and I've been, like, security at little kids' parties at the Cabana Club. I mean, we were still young doing that type of stuff, but, like...
Have you driven past it lately?
I haven't. Not in a while.
I guess that's kind of specific for our viewership here.
Yeah.
But if you're from North Highlands, you know what we're talking about. But... You want to outro it? We put an hour in.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Hallmark channel, so
we got that off your chest.
Nah, man, we gonna talk about more than terrible movies, dude. That's what. Oh, one last. So they got in trouble. They got in trouble because they don't have enough LGBTQ characters in their shows.
Who?
The Hallmark channel, or maybe Lifetime.
Out, bro.
It's either Lifetime or Hallmark. I just think that's crazy. Like, yo, I get it, man. Like representation does matter. Doesn't mean everyone has to do it, and people are doing it now. It's everywhere. If you're on Netflix, it's
wedding
everywhere.
should be 10 to 20K max. Just to add that in there, like, right?
Yeah, and all your friends should have 10 to 20K to pay for it. Otherwise, it should not be that much. 10 to 20K. That it just. I mean, I get it, man. It's a dope event. It's tight. I love weddings. I learned when I was a teenager. I went to a party instead of a wedding. And it's like one of my worst regrets already. Just now, how much I love weddings and just the atmosphere is good. Like I don't know,
professional wedding guests.
That's what it is. I really when that
Jules&Rich wedding guest extraordinaire.
When the Wedding Ringer came out, that Kevin Hart movie. Have you watched that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
With Josh, dude, I feel like I would kill that. I would kill that. You don't think I would kill that?
I know you definitely would.
I would go to all that stuff too, bachelor party stuff. You're gonna have a good time. There's no way.
Crashers?
Oh man. I don't know wedding credit. I'm too nervous for that type of stuff. And if they don't like it and you ruin their big day, that's some grimy stuff I can't really get behind. So yeah, I don't know, man. But
Josh,
yeah, sorry.
Josh said $600 wedding.
I just want to maybe I just need to not call it a wedding so they don't charge me a bunch of money and we just throw a big function, but then we bring like a little arch. You know? They're like, what is that? Oh, we're doing a wedding themed party. Because that's what, dude, I know. It's going to, weddings, man, weddings are crazy. But they're so fun.
He said if this was a wedding podcast, you could charge 30% more.
Seriously, man. Put it on, what's that like, website?
OnlyFans? I stole that from it.
Nah, it's like The Knot or whatever.
You
just put your podcast on there. We got the right ideas. Yeah, we got figured out. But other than that, I mean, we don't have much more to talk about.
I'm amazed we stretched out no ideas to an hour and 5 minutes.
We will updates because tomorrow it should come out too. They're going to release the grand jury proceeding stuff tomorrow for Breonna Taylor. So we're going to talk about it because there's some crazy stuff I've read about the Attorney General from this week too, since the last time we talked. So we'll probably have updates about that case because I'll research a bunch of that. Same thing. Leave comments below with what you want to hear about. I'm sure things will happen. Lakers are in the finals, so let's go, baby. Let's get that playoffs? Shit. Yeah, it's the finals right now. So, Lakers Lakers are up 1-0. Let's get it. About to get this dub. Come on.
Professional sports is for suckers. We'll talk about that.
Haters gonna hate. I learned that at a young age.
Next week, bro, I promise I'll make this vow to you. I'll be prepared at 5 o'clock. I'll be in the right mindset. I didn't even this week was anything wrong was my fault, and I apologize to you guys and to you.
We'll be all right,
and we'll be dialed next week. We got a producer with us, aka Beer Caddy, aka disappear in the middle of the episode. It doesn't say any reason.
AKA
just
the
walks
Voodoo
away.
Ranger, aka Mr. Irish Goodbye. But yeah, no, thank you guys again. If you didn't see, we did put our YouTube channel, so subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you want to hear about. Hopefully, we'll just continue to get better and be here every week. And just
let us know what you guys want to talk about. We love you. It's good to see you. Thank you for our loyal guys who stay in the comments, giving us good ideas, helping us out.
Yeah.
Later.
We swear we listen to you, but peace out.